What's up, everybody? This is Zach with the Nerd Cave Podcast for episode 248. We're 2 away from the big 250.
250.
It's crazy.
We've been doing this for a little bit.
1 or 2 days.
Hot minute, as some would say.
I am joined along with none other than the bearded sultan himself.
Robbie Ross. I'm a little bit less of the bearded sultan.
But still have a beard.
I still have a beard. I hacked away at a lot of it this past week, but I feel like I lost a few pounds with it.
You look nice though.
Yeah,
you look professional.
I'm trying to look professional. I actually went and funny story. Last night, me and Holly went out.
Your beautiful, lovely,
my loving
talented wife.
We went out to Olive Garden, and then we went to the mall.
I think it's pronounced Olive.
The Olive Garden, the OG.
Yeah.
The OG, if you will. We went after that to the mall, to the shoe department, because my dress shoes that I've been wearing 5 days a week, 9 to 5, and sometimes 5:30.
Looking a little less.
Yeah. My shoestrings are falling apart. The leathers get because I buy like the leather shoes, because I need them to last.
Because you like the smell and the taste.
Yes, and definitely the taste. So we went to the shoe department, and you know those dress slip-on shoes that Bruno Mars wear.
Yeah, I got a pair.
I'm talking about. I found a pair of black suede ones, and I went to go pick them up, and Holly was like, "If you ever want to be seen in public with me, don't get them. If you wear those, I will not be there."
Are they actually like slip-ons?
Yeah.
No, like where you slip your foot in and they're like have a back to it, like there's an actual shoe, or is it
it's an actual shoe, but
is it like house slippers slip on, or is it an actual slip?
It's a mixture of both. I wanted them because I'm like, they look pretty cool, but I can definitely see the unappeal to them. So instead, I bought these super shiny black leather shoes.
So like patent leather.
Oh yeah.
You got some spats to go with them.
They're gonna see me coming at work Monday.
What you should do is put some taps on the bottom, so as you're coming across, be like, Robbie is here. Robbie is here, and he is here to give us a loan.
Yes, I'm gonna be Tap Man.
Pocket sand.
Gotta watch Psych, everybody. Go back and watch it.
It's good. Been watching it.
So that's the highlight of my week. How about yours, my man?
It's been an interesting week, and I'll start with my interesting story. Okay. So yesterday I was driving back from Mobile, Alabama. Went for a work thing. My kids were performing at circuit championships, and I get a thing on my phone. I'm talking to Amy on there. It's like there's a traffic jam that will, add 20 minutes to your drive, but you can go this way, and you can save time. So I was like, of course I'm going to take the save time route.
Always.
So I start driving, and I'm in Alabama. I go through Loxley, Alabama, and I get outside of Loxley, Alabama, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm at. I have no idea where I'm at. This is... You start hearing the banjos going on. So I'm talking to Amy. We're trying to figure out where we want to go to eat, which we ended up going to Po Folk. So this is definitely a southern
story.
Southern story. And it gets even more southern. I grew up where there weren't a lot of people around, like my house and everything. It's, wooded area. There's a few neighbors, but it's very spread out.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can hear your neighbors coming type deal. Have I walked outside not wearing a shirt before? Sure. Who hasn't? To get something out of the car. It's not like I'm going outside.
I feel this is about to take a turn.
Oh, it took a turn. And it was all sorts of weird. So I'm going about 40, back roads, country. You don't know where you're getting. I look to my left, and there's a gentleman.
Butt naked.
Nope, not as that far.
Okay.
Tidy whities, cowboy boots, nothing else. And I was just like,
now is it like the tidy whities, or are they like the boxers?
No, they are like 100% like Hanes tidy whities,
Captain Underpants,
like Fruit of the Loom.
Okay,
tidy whities, and it looked like they've seen better days. Kind of tidy whities, and
take them to church because they holy.
Yeah. And now this was a very large man, everybody. Very large man. The biggest part of him was his beer belly. And I was just talking on the phone. I was like, my Lord. I was like, I just saw a grown man in his yard in his underwear. I was like, boots. And Amy's like, where are you? I was like, I don't know, baby. But
I don't like it.
If I don't make it back.
I love you.
So, like, I get home and we're getting ready to go to bed and everything. We start talking about this gentleman, and this was about 30-40 minutes of our life that we discussed this man. She was asking what did he look like, trying to get a visual representation. I don't know why he would want that, but we got to a point where we discovered his life story. So his name is Howie. He works at, now there's a Roadkill like cafe or something like that in Foley.
Yes.
He works at the Roadkill cafe, but he actually serves Roadkill. But on his way from Loxley, Alabama to Foley, he has a 5-gallon bucket that he goes and he actually gets Roadkill off the side of the road. But it was this whole, like, he cooks in his underwear. He does wear an apron.
Yeah, for safety,
but he does like the warmth of the grill on his
beer belly.
Yeah, on his beer belly. But my Lord, I was like, I am in Alabama.
You are in Alabama when you see a grown man in boots and underwear.
Yeah, and Amy's like, what kind of cowboy boots were they? And like, when you say cowboy boots, everybody's like thinks of like the pointy toe. I'm talking about like
square-toed work boots.
I'm talking about like my brother would wear, my dad would wear to work. It's like those brown boots that are like the rounded. They're work boots. They're nothing fancy. But in our story, he wears
snakeskin.
No, he's even fancier. He wears ostrich. Like pointy, like. Those are his pride and joy.
Okay.
So there's my interesting...
The story of Howie.
Yeah, Howie, the Roadkill chef.
Beautiful.
Almost like the pimp that you...
Pimp named Slick.
that you met in the Whataburger parking lot.
At 2 o'clock. Nothing good happens after 12 o'clock, people. Just stay indoors. Go to bed.
What could happen good after 12 o'clock, though?
What?
If you go over to patreon.com/nerdcave and support us over there, just like all of our awesome patrons did.
Yes, a lot of patrons
have helped us a ton. We're getting our business license taken care of. We just got new mics. If you're listening to the audio version,
yes,
we're now...
Our docile tones are even more docile.
Yes, they're so sleepy. But now all three of us, when we all have all of us on the show, will have the same microphone. Yeah. It won't be changing from one to another and everything. So hopefully it sounds better to everybody and not like, oh, that's Zach definitely talking and that's, So you can go over to patreon.com, get a ton of stuff. We really jam-packed the $1 tier.
Like, I mean, even when you go 1, 5, and 10, you're getting more bang for your buck out of the one, but you're still getting a lot of bangs for your bucks with the $5 and $10.
Because it stacks.
It does.
It stacks.
If you pay $10, you're gonna get everything in $5 and $1. And like I said, our $5 is our tier where we actually give out, our
giveaways.
Our giveaways.
Mm-hmm. And that video will be up this week, and we'll be contacting all the people that won the giveaways. We won't say who won it because they need to watch the giveaway video.
Yeah. And it's only for the people who support us at $5 or more.
Or higher, yeah.
On Patreon.
Yeah, so go over to patreon.com/nerdcave. Check it out. See if it's what it is. And if you're not one of the people that support us over there, it's easy to change that.
You can do it on an app or the website.
Yeah. So it helps tremendously. We actually got new internet, which we'll change into this segment right here. Okay. I'll hit my lap button. Got new internet.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you've been a purveyor of any of our live shows or anything, we've been plagued
with the frame dropping.
Yes, with the pestilence known as frame dropping. I'm using an alliteration with all my P's that were going on here. And it's been bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's been bad.
We've stuttered. We've stopped. We've had to just cancel entire live streams.
My last live stream, once I got past Nerd Cave Plus, like the actual podcast show, and into the gaming part of it, like 13 minutes in, the stream just died. It was just like, no,
Yeah.
Not doing it anymore. And I was just like, all right, cool.
With our new and improved internet, we will be able to stream without interruption.
Yeah.
And we're going to be stress testing it a lot this week to see what all it can and can't handle. But compared to, we won't say who it was that we did have.
Oh, I will.
Oh, AT&T.
AT&T, it sucked.
Yeah, I've dealt with Uverse at Mother's when back in the day.
Now, I'm sure the fiber octave. Somebody on our Facebook page is like, "Oh, well, the fiber is really great, and I get this, that, and the other." I'm like, man, that must be cool, but we don't have that.
We're Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, not good enough.
Not good enough for that. But you got MediaCom. Shout out to MediaCom for hooking me up. But I'm still paying them. They literally hooked me up into the service. Like within 30 minutes, it was running over 100 megabytes down. Like it got up to 600 megabytes down last night.
And that's especially the upload speed being anywhere from.
It's been at least 50 and up.
Or up. That's going to help us with our streaming and playing our online games. Like, I know there was one time I streamed PUBG over here.
Oh, my Lord, that was so bad.
Like, trying to snipe somebody that's doing this.
It was like, don't shoot anybody, Robbie. Don't shoot.
Just survive.
Just survive. Try to get in the top 10.
But this is definitely going to help us out. This is going to help us be able to improve our brand, which is that's the name of the game. We're always improving.
Yeah, and we want to be the best. Like that's one thing that I think a lot of people say they want to be the best. They don't want to put in the work. We absolutely put in the work for this, and I'm glad that we're finally getting that because pardon me. The live streams are my favorite part of the whole thing.
I enjoy playing Fortnite, PUBG, different games like that. But whenever you turn and look at the computer and you see people comment, "Hey, you guys are lagging," or we look over and we see you've just dropped 3,000 frames.
Yeah, that's the most disheartening thing is like when you looked at your encoded and your drop frame number, and your drop frame number is almost as high as your encoded. It's sad. But I think now, we want to make the best quality content.
Yes.
We want to have the best stuff. We've revamped a lot of things within the Nerd Cave for this year. We've redone Patreon. I know we talked about that just a second ago, but we've revamped this show.
We've revamped. We've even brought in new shows, new sets.
Yeah, this is thanks to the awesome Patreon producers and seducers and
all our Patreons.
Yeah, all the Patreon people. But it's also like we're able to try new things. We've got seasonal shows. We're working on your seasonal show right now, trying to finish up Nerd Caves and Dragons. And I do apologize for everybody that's loving the Nerd Caves and Dragons. Right now we have 3 episodes up. Part 1. Episode 1 is a 2-parter, and then we have 2 and 3 up. 4 and 5 are in the can. We're having some difficulties getting everything edited and everything, but we will get that out to everybody. And then we're planning on recording this weekend, so we should be close to wrapping up the first season of Nerd Caves and Dragons. And then we're going to be working on Cooking with Robbie, which I am stoked to get to work on.
I do enjoy cooking. I don't do nearly as much of it as I would like to, but I know the last couple times I did it, it was just me and peanut butter. A lot of peanut
butter and a messy kitchen, and Amy wanted to murder you.
I apologize for that. But we'll be doing it at Casa
de Rawls. We'll go with Casa de Rawls since it makes sense.
Yeah, and I'll be actually having people on. Like Holly makes the most exquisite chicken and dumplings. I always eat way too much and get super sick because of eating too much.
Eat too much.
I'll be doing some of my cinnamon French toast.
Yeah.
Jacob will be making his. I think it's called it's gonna sound weird, but jelly meatballs or something like that. They're good.
I'm good.
No, they're good.
I'm good.
They're good. Holly makes some apple dumplings as well. I think we brought those.
Yeah.
So they were very good. But yeah, I'm super excited to get to work on that. Going to be trying some new filming techniques.
Yeah, I think that's my most excited part of it, is that we're going to be using like multiple cameras to make the show happen, and we now know how to edit with multiple cameras in a much more efficient way.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that because I'm going to be teaching you how to edit amongst all of that, and it's just going to be a really cool show altogether. And then after that, we got more surprises. They don't stop coming. We got a whole year of it. So I'm excited for where we're going, because it's not the same thing. It's not, they're going to read some news articles on the show. That doesn't happen anymore. Like, that's gone. That's in the past. It helped us get where we are, but that's in the past. If you want news articles and you like gaming, you could check out Nerdcade Plus every Tuesday and Thursday. But like, this show is more like,
we don't read the articles here, but we do kind of keep you informed with what's going on.
Yeah, but it's more like
best friends talk.
Yeah, best friends sitting down and just like, hey, this is what's going on. What do you think about it? I love that part of it.
Me too. But speaking of what's going on,
tell me.
Did you hear that they are making another Purge movie?
Why? I channeled my inner Derek Diamond for that one.
I felt like I was in the presence of Derek Diamond. After the Purge election year, which had some really cringy religious undertones, like I'm talking about, them praying and thanking the Lord for them to be able to kill people. I watched it. It was a little hinky for my taste. But what they're doing with this one is they're bringing it back. This is the first purge that is that our government has put in place.
You mean the fictitious government?
The fictitious government.
Yeah, not ours.
So
don't go out and kill people.
Like when the first Purge movie came out,
it had been going
on for quite a few years. So I think it is going to be interesting. I hope they back away from those religious undertones that were so prevalent in the third one, because like I said, wasn't a huge fan of that. Made me kind of cringe a bit.
Yeah, anytime like people try to bring like religion into something like that,
while they're killing a ton of people.
Yeah, it's always.
But I want to see like those fictitious government members, like their mindset behind the purge. Like, we know it is to relieve the stress, and like you have one night a year where you're able to just go crazy, do whatever you want, and it's all legal, all perfectly legal. But will it revive the Purge movies? I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting take, but to see where they've gone from the first Purge movie to where it's at now, they're going to have to do something different, because you can't just keep going down the lines. We've pretty much, with the third movie, spoiler alert, has ended the Purge. Like, one of the ladies who has been against it, she has won the election and I guess has become president, and she's putting an end to it. So they have to take it back and see what the first people's thought process was behind it.
Yeah, the movies never appealed to me. I know you enjoyed them and everything, but
first two I enjoyed.
Yeah,
third one,
you know what I mean. But it's never been like, anytime the Purge comes up, I'm just like, oh, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But if you're a Purge fan,
I mean, it's good news for you. Like I said, I will watch it just to kind of give my impression on it. Mm-hmm. But, we just kind of have to see where it goes. Like I said, I hope it goes back to more of like the first two movies. Those were interesting. Third one, not so much.
Did you ever watch Happy Days?
Like
the old TV show,
like the Fonz
and all of that. Like, anytime like a movie franchise or a TV show like gets so far away from what it is, I always go back to Happy Days, where the Fonz jumped over a shark with his motorcycle. That's the phrase, jumping the shark.
Yeah.
Like, don't jump the shark.
No, and a lot of shows do that because they're trying to reinvent themselves.
Mm-hmm. when they should stop.
Yeah, like, I know you're wanting to make more money, but sometimes just end it.
Stop being greedy.
Yeah. So, next topic.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the month
of April. Yeah.
Of April,
mm-hmm.
which means there's a nice little gem coming out near the end of.
I hear multiple.
There's at least 5.
Yeah.
We're talking about Marvel.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Teletubbies.
No. I was trying to think of something. I was like, just no.
The baby son has come to kill everything.
That is still the weirdest show ever. But Marvel,
it is a British show, so there you go.
Yeah. Infinity War is coming out the 27th. And as I talk to more and more people, I don't think there's been this much excitement in the water for an Avengers movie. Like, I know there was a lot of hype over Black Panther, but I feel like this is a completely different hype.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm talking to people, like, they're saying, while I was watching that last trailer, I was getting chill bumps and everything like that.
I actually was excited to go watch the movie.
Like,
I haven't wanted to go watch a movie in quite some time.
And that's what I'm seeing a lot of people be, I guess, reinvigorated with the superhero franchise.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things is, like, there's been so many that I feel disenfranchised. I'm just kind of like, oh, another one.
Yeah.
And another one. The episode of SpongeBob where, and the next day, like, Plankton, like, tells Mr. Krabs, like, he'll be coming back the next day just to steal his formula, like he keeps saying it over and over. That's how I feel like superhero movies are become. It's just like, oh, and there's another one and another one.
It is definitely like, and I've talked to a few people. Marshall was talking about it. He's like, I'm just not excited for him anymore. And there are people like that, but for some reason, Marvel, and I think it's because from Iron Man 1,
best movie.
10, 13 years ago.
10, I want to say.
Yeah.
2008, 10 years ago.
We have been building up until we've seen Thanos and his Goonies.
Yeah.
And I think
pink Thanos, not blue or purple Thanos that we've seen before, but pink Thanos.
So he might be friendlier.
I don't know.
I don't think
Majin Buu was pink. He wasn't very friendly.
He was not really. But like I said, it's just a new excitement. We're actually seeing, this is going to be the most
anticipated.
Most are anticipated, but most Marvel characters in a movie together.
Yeah.
Because, we're not only having the core Avengers, but we're bringing in Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. We're bringing in Guardians of the Galaxy, and who knows else.
I'm sure the Defenders will be in there as well. In some capacity, they won't be large characters, but they'll be in some shape, form, or fashion.
I'm sure. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping that we have some mention of Xavier and his school for gifted youngsters. At least a mention. I want it to be known that they are in
the
same universe. I've also heard rumors that Silver Surfer might make an appearance.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. That would be really cool.
Like I said, I'm very excited.
I'd rather see him than the Fantastic Four.
yeah.
Like, just keep them out of it.
Yeah, just kind of keep them in the corner over there.
Yeah.
But this movie has had a ton of people excited, and I'm probably going to go see it. Hopefully, opening weekend, just depending on how things go.
And that's Thursday or Friday.
The 27th is going to be a Friday, so I'll probably see it either a Saturday or maybe a Sunday.
Yeah, I'll see it sometime opening weekend. I hear your well calling you.
My lasagna that I ate.
Yeah, your Italian well named Greta. She has a very German name.
She's a German well that's inside my stomach.
But she's Italian.
She's
self-identified as an Italian woman.
Hey, I understand. Now, you've watched The Office, right?
Once or twice, yeah.
Yeah. So you understand.
Like, I'm talking about the whole thing. Once or twice.
So you know who Jim is?
Yeah.
Jim is in a movie.
Jim Gaffigan.
No. I cannot remember his last name in from The Office. I just know him as Jim.
Yeah, yeah.
He is in a movie called The Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Which is...
Have you watched it?
No, me, Holly, and Jacob, we've all been talking about it. We'll try to go sometime this week to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But
with his wife. He's actually in it. That's his wife.
Yeah. And what's really cool about this movie is it is actually giving the deaf audience, like, you never had a movie that's almost shot entirely in silence. Because, they're not able to make a sound, or the evil super hearing creatures that is in that movie, the monsters are going to try to kill them.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. You're seeing them talk in sign language and everything like that. So there was an interview with, a deaf girl. I think she was actually in the movie. She's one of the children actors.
Oh, okay.
I believe she is actually deaf.
I have no idea.
And so, she's talking in the interview. The only reason I think she is deaf is because, actually in the interview, she's using sign language to talk and has a translator. So she was talking about how it is revolutionary, how, we had, Black Panther being able to reach a certain audience, but this movie, A Quiet Place, is also going to be able to reach a whole different audience of, there's, you look at, I look at my job and I have there's 3 or 4 families who come through that are hearing impaired. Mm-hmm. And, knowing that there's something out there and that they can go to a movie in theaters and kind of still know what's going on in the movie, because most of it is in sign language.
Yeah.
So it's a very cool take on a movie, and like I said, I really, really have been wanting to see it.
Yeah, I love the concept of it, making it where it is about having to be quiet, and not seeing the monsters. Any horror movie, once you see the monster, it's kind of like downhill from there. So I'm interested to see where it goes, once that happens, and I'm sure you'll tell us more about it once you watch it.
I'll give my my little take on it.
Your hot take. Your hot take.
My hot take.
Your hot take. Your impression, as some would say.
Yeah, as we would say.
Yes, we, as in me and Robbie, would say impressions. I'm stalling so you can.
I'll carry on.
Okay, hot takes.
Now,
hot cakes. I had hot cakes this morning.
Not from the Ruby Slipper?
Not from the... Unfortunately, I went to McDonald's because Waffle House was backed up and they wouldn't answer my phone call.
Hey, it happens.
I hate when it's like, oh, sorry, we're busy right now. I'm like, no! Don't do this to me.
Something near and dear to our hearts.
Yes.
DC.
Washington, D.C. Politics.
Oh, yeah. We love that.
Yeah.
No. The Flash movie is now no longer going to be called Flashpoint. So
I think probably because CW handled Flashpoint in the show one of the worst ways possible.
To have
2 episodes and it was like, this is not Flashpoint.
Because we know Flashpoint. Yeah. We know how in-depth Flashpoint should be. And when we knew that Barry and the CW Flash show was going to be tiptoeing into Flashpoint.
Through the tulips, some would say.
We were beyond ecstatic. We were so ready for it.
Yeah.
And then we got Flashpoint from the CW. Don't get me wrong. Arrow, Flash, Legends, they've had their ups. They've had some downs. But overall, very enjoyable shows.
Yeah, I just think it was a misstep. It created some interesting things from it, but it was just like
Diggle's daughter is now Diggle's son is now Diggle's daughter.
Yeah, something like no, I don't know. I think it was the other way. I don't know.
Way around. But yeah,
I don't know.
Small little things are different.
Yeah.
But I know that they're still going to be exploring the Flashpoint universe. Or at least that's what everything is leading us to think.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Flash, especially with the DC universe, because a lot of it right now is okay, we had Justice League, everybody came together, and it didn't do well, and they were kind of okay, from now on, it's just going to be the kind of one-offs. And Flashpoint as a one-off, as good as it would be, it's kind of a hard story to tell.
Yeah.
And just the little bit of time travel that we saw in Batman versus Superman or Batman v Superman, best movie of 2016. A lot of people were confused by it.
Yeah.
So I think it might be the way to get people excited about it, because I think Ezra Miller did such a fantastic job as the Flash.
I agree.
It's a totally different take than what the CW has and everything, but it was such an interesting way to go about the character that, dad is in prison, all of that, but he's not the same Barry as what we've been watching for the last few years. And I just thought it was cool, and just the little ticks and how he's socially awkward and all of that, and how he goes about showing that on screen. And then him the best part of Justice League is when they bring Superman back. Spoilers, if you didn't watch it, you're probably not going to watch it at this point. And he's running, he's like fighting all of this, and like Superman, like he's running to get him or whatever, and he just turns his head just like slowly and just like looks at him, and Barry's just like, what?
I died laughing in the movies when that part happened. I mean, it was hilarious.
Oh yeah, and I hope they keep Ezra. Like, I think they would be foolish not to. I think he did a fantastic job in Fantastic Beast. As essentially the villain.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. If you didn't watch that one by now, what are you doing?
Wrong with you? That was such a great movie.
Yeah, and the next one's coming out soon.
Soon-ish.
Next 30 years or something like that. I gave myself a big berth of time to be right. But I think he would be awesome. I don't know who the director is, and now that it's not going to be Flashpoint, we don't know what the storyline is going to be.
Well, up until now, the name of the movie has been Flashpoint.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're just changing the name, because obviously we have the comic, we have the animated movie, we have
the CW's version.
So I think that it's going to be just named.
I think they scrapped that whole idea.
You think?
Yeah. They haven't started shooting. There hasn't been any reports of it. So scrap it. You're not going to be compared to anything now. And then that way you'll have a little bit more liberty. I would take a good Flash story and make it into it. Flashpoint being the best in my opinion, but I think it would be a good idea to take an already established story and take your take on it. But Flashpoint is so just like,
it's beloved.
Yeah,
everybody loves that one. And if you don't do Flashpoint right, they're gonna hate you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be stuck in that.
And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like Batman v Superman, because it was supposed to be Dark Knight Returns, and it was very far from it, except for the huge nods that it had throughout it.
Yeah.
The mechanical suit, the nuclear bomb thing, which when they did that, I was just like,
yeah. I mean,
sorry if that was really loud, everybody.
Very loud.
I put it further away. I didn't put it right at the microphone.
And I mean, for the most part, I still enjoyed that sequence, because it did, like you said, the subtle nods to the animated movie.
You had to be a huge DC fan.
I missed a ton. When we were talking about it and you were pointing them out, I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
a ton of them.
You have to really know that, and that's the thing about Justice League. It was totally the opposite. It was more for the common moviegoer and everything, and they've had DC as a whole has had a hard time towing the line between both camps. Marvel has done a good job from the very beginning of not setting expectations extremely high, with staying comic book accurate, or accurate. I say accurate. I started saying it as a joke, and then it's just become part of my vernacular. Oh well, and literally I say that because of Chris off of Parks and Rec, literally. But I think DC has had a hard time with that, and maybe with these one-offs we'll start seeing some different output from them. I think we'll get a Joker movie. Hopefully it'll be a good one without Leto in it. I think Willem Dafoe is still the best choice.
He would be a beautiful Joker.
I'm talking about Willem Dafoe not phoning it in. like he's been doing in the past few years with anything he's been in. And if you know a movie that he's been in and he didn't phone it in, please let me know. But you look at Death Note.
That was
bad. That was painful. Matt Smith would be an awesome Joker.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, some people are like, man, that doesn't make any sense, but like, it does. He's tall, he's lanky, he can go from one side to the other.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's very expressive with his face.
I'm about to say, when you like, if he wanted to do the Joker smile, he could do it. Like, I mean, just the way, like you said, the way he can like overexpress his face. I mean,
and Willem Dafoe is the same way.
Oh yeah.
You know, I wouldn't go with like I'm gonna have a tattoo on my hand. No, you fools.
Yeah. I never cared for Leto's.
Yeah, and a Batman, like an actual detective version of it. A Year One would be awesome.
Yeah.
0 Year would be cool, like Zack Snyder's version of it. Court of the Owls.
Court of Owls.
Court of Owls and the Night of the Owls would be a really, really great way to do it. You know, there's tons of different ways of going about it. I keep playing with this thing. Going about it that I think would be great. And I think that's where we're seeing Flashpoint, it being pulled out.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're still getting a Flash movie, but it's going to be something that's different.
Yeah.
And I think it's a wise choice.
Yeah, because you definitely, like, I was still hoping for a Flashpoint, but I do.
But we got the animated movie.
Well, we got the animated movie, and that one is still one of my favorite animated movies.
Yeah, and I would love to see an actual
live
action, you know, and have all the cast members from the Justice League, and being like, if they would go as brutal as Flashpoint actually is, oh, that would be awesome. But they never would. We all know that. They never would go that. The only reason they did the animated one that way was because like they started doing some of that, and it's not marketed as much to kids as the movies are.
Yeah, because I mean, you have, like, you know, bring Jeffrey Dean Morgan back as Batman's dad, and then have him be.
Oh man, that would be so awesome.
Because you know he's been, you know, Sam and Dean Winchester's father. He's been Negan. In the
he was the comedian
in Watchmen.
Yeah.
So I mean, he would be a perfect, I guess, bad take on Batman. Like Batman who broke bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that would be pretty sweet, and then having Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot as like hating and fighting because of the love quarrel that they had.
Yeah, because Wonder Woman murdered Mira. Yeah, I think that would be an awesome way to do it, but I don't think they would go to that degree, because you know, you literally have Wonder Woman decapitating somebody in that story, and then
and she's there, and she right now, if there's a pedestal of
Wonder Woman is
king for
DC Wonder Woman. They're not going to mess with that character. They're only going to show it love, and they're going to take care of it because it's the only movie that has actually made money for them. Like, I'm talking about real money. I'm not like Batman v Superman did well, like overall, but it didn't break the box office. Justice League did not do well, but you wouldn't want to handle your characters like that.
They have to be careful.
Yeah, because Aquaman gets his arm chopped off. Batman shoots the Reverse Flash in the head. Like, ton of stuff goes on in that. Like, Batman literally murders someone in the first first minute of like you being introduced to that character.
He throw the yo-yo girl off the
topper
building?
or whatever. Yeah, just throws her off the building, murders her. Like, you know,
Flash is like, what's going on?
Who are you? You know, so you got all of that going on. Shazam, like Wonder Woman, like makes Shazam like say the word, and then she murders all the children. That's not going to happen. No. And I think that might be one of the things. Like, this is really dark. Like, I don't think we should go this way.
Yeah, I think that's why if they do back away from it, that is probably a good idea, because they would not be able to explore how dark it needs to be for it to be a good Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even with the CW show, they couldn't go as dark because we had Arrow be the darker one, and then whenever we were introduced to the Flash, we all loved it because it was like a
very hopeful.
Yeah, and it was very colorful and hopeful, and
then they
happy.
started getting dark, and it's like, what is wrong with this?
And then they revert back to hope and happy and colorful.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that they do a good job with it. Whatever story that they pick, there's a ton of Flash stories that they could do.
Yeah.
Flashpoint, probably not the best one to go with.
Like, maybe after if you've had the universe breathing for quite a few more years and you're ready to take a chance on it, like, you know, it's like near the end of the DC movie life cycle for this era, then maybe they take a chance on it. But
I think until they're ready to get dark, like I'm talking about dark, they're not. And WB's never really made, like, I'm sure they've made, and we'll get comments. They've made dark movies, but not their big franchises. You know. You would see Harry Potter in a DC movie before you get a dark DC movie. So
they have to definitely be careful with their babies right now because their babies are
been battered and bruised. They got that baby shaking disease.
Baby shaking syndrome.
Any more?
The last thing I really want to talk about is Young Justice 3 is finally wrapped filming.
Like the
new season. Because at Netflix we only had the 2 seasons and they stopped. And so
thanks to Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network kills so many good shows.
They do.
I don't know what they're doing.
It's crazy.
Got rid of Toonami, like, seriously.
That hurt.
Seriously.
That hurt me when they got rid of that.
Justice League. Anyway, go ahead.
But for us nerds who have been waiting for the Young Justice to come back out, come back into with full force, they finally finished filming, and I'm excited for it. It's not coming to Netflix. I think you have to go, I can't remember the exact way to do it, but there's another subscription you're going to have to get if you want to watch it, which I'm going to do a month trial just to watch it because...
Are they releasing all of it in one drop, or is it going to be
like I said, we haven't gotten
any
a whole
details
lot
on
of
that
information, just that it's finished filming. So, you know, looking back...
Like filming as in like everything's been put together, edited, or like recording for the voiceovers? Because usually how animation works is if it's being done from the ground up, like not if you're redubbing something like Dragon Ball Z, you know, like anime coming over and getting English dubs, is you record the voiceovers first and then the animation happens after to get the lip flaps to happen. Because the other way around is a lot harder because you have so many lip flaps to get all the words in. I know when Mark Hamill redid some of the... Did you know Tim Curry was actually the first Joker voice actor, like for the animated series?
Did not.
Yeah, and then it got recast with Mark Hamill, so he had to redo the first 2 or 3 episodes, and he had to like redub them like with the lip flaps. And he was saying that was so difficult to have to, you know, time everything with like lip flaps and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that would be my biggest question. Is it their voiceovers or is everything edited? Because if it's everything's been drawn and everything, then that's much, much closer than, you know, them just recording voiceover stuff.
From what I read is that they just said that they had finished recording, and let me see if I can find it.
As he looks that up, everybody, we hope that you've been enjoying the episode, and we want to take this moment to shout out our Patreon producer, Caleb Palmer. Thank you for going over to patreon.com/nerdcave, supporting us over there. And thank you to all of our patrons. We do appreciate it greatly. And you can be a patron in just one easy step, going over to patreon.com/nerdcave, supporting us at $1 or higher. The $1 tier gets you early access to a ton of things, gets you a exclusive video. There's one up for the month of March right now, which is the foods that we hate, a little secret in there. of some of the foods that I hate that everyone thinks I'm absolutely crazy about hating. But there's that, and then we have awesome stuff throughout there. Our seasonal content is always up early a week over there before it goes live on YouTube, so you can check that out over at patreon.com/nerdcave.
It's saying that it's finished recording, so I think that it is wham bam done and getting ready to head out, because it's saying that it sounds like Young Justice is inching closer and closer to its return. It's taking place over Chicago this weekend, and one of the guests at the event is Kari Payton, who plays Ezekiel on The Walking Dead. Payton is also the Cyborg voice actor. Trying to cut out all the fluff.
We said we weren't going to read articles.
I know. The debut before the end of the year.
Okay. So they probably finished recording. They're got majority of it done.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's looking like
it's the editing process now.
Yeah. Okay. So once they touch all that up, they're looking at near the end of this year. So
yeah, and then marketing and all that good stuff. So
yeah. So
well, there you go.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't finished that, but
it was good.
Yeah, the little bit I watched. First season was kind of like the same thing over and over again, but
it gets better.
Yeah, that's what they say about a lot of shows, but I never get past that.
I know.
Oh well.
Oh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What was that CW show? Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah.
Vandal Savage.
Yeah, not for me. But you know what is for me? The end of the show.
We love you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We hope that you enjoyed the episode. If you haven't already and you love audio versions of this, if you watched it on YouTube and you're like, man, where can I get some more of this? All you got to do, any podcast service.
Yep.
Like if there's a podcast service we're not on and you're like, hey, you're not on this one, let us know.
And
we'll try to get on that one. We can't promise anything, but we'll try to get on that one. We are on Spotify now. There's a lot of people like, oh, I wish I could get on Spotify. We're on Spotify. We wrangled Mr. Spotify.
Yeah, we did. It was hard.
We elbow barred him, and he was
kind of like the greasy pig.
Yeah.
But we finally got him.
Yeah, we made him say uncle, and we got on Spotify. So if you want to check us out there, it's much appreciated. Please share the episode. We put a ton of work into all of this. Share it, rate it. If you got a friend that just loves nerdy stuff and you're like, hey, I want to give you the gift that keeps on giving, this is the best Christmas gift.
Yeah.
In April.
Yeah.
Like
Christmas in April. Not Christmas in July or Christmas in December, but Christmas in April.
They get 52 gifts throughout the year. That's one per week. We're not doing an episode per week. We've missed a few weeks, so they're getting shy of 52, but they're going to get stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
They're going to get more than they are going to give you, because they're a bad friend. But we appreciate everything that you are and everything that you do. We hope you enjoyed the episode. It has been such an honor.
Such a pleasure.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. What did I say last week? I don't remember. I said it and I was like, I like that. I really enjoyed that. I'm like dancing around. It's been a pleasure to serve you, but that's the Greg Miller's. I'm not taking Greg's. I don't know.
We'll have to go back to that episode.
I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments of what I said last week. But this has been Zach.
And Robbie.
Have a blessed week.